Good morning, everyone. I am Giovante Hawkins. I'm the Executive Director of MSATP. I would like to thank you all for joining us today for this Member Benefits Demo Day. It is the first one. We're excited about it. It allows all of our members and non-members to get their questions answered and to learn more about what we have to offer. I want to remind you that you do not have to sit on the Zoom all day. You can pop in and out as you want. Please refer to that schedule that was emailed out this morning so that you can attend the sessions that you would like to hear about. Around 10:50, we will have trivia questions for the opportunity to win a free 1 or 2 hour webinar of your choice. So stick around for that. And I will kick off Demo Day with Jerry Lotz at CostSeg. Let's learn how you can partner with CostSeg to help your clients save money. And Jerry, thank you for joining us. I'll let you take over.
Thank you, Gigi, MSATP staff, and all of the members. I've been blessed to be a corporate sponsor for the last 7 years almost. Gosh, hard to believe it's been that long. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. So let me see if I can share this screen here. Make it a little bit bigger. Can you see the screen there? All right, let's do this.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you. So, like a lot of you folks out there listening, I'm fortunate and blessed to work for myself. And when I decided a few years ago, 6, 7 years ago, to go into business for myself, I thought, well, I've had a lot of experience serving clients in the medical sales world. I'd like to take that and do something on my own. And this was a little bit of a transition, going from medical sales to working with tax professionals and building owners. But it's been a great transition. So I'm a Baltimore native. I grew up here, did extensive travel when I was in medical sales. But Baltimore was always what I called home, and still do today. I've been married for, gosh, just celebrated 42 years. 2 older grown girls that are off and doing their own thing. And I'm on a mission, really, to help people and companies save money in a number of areas that they spend money in. So when I decided to do this, I thought, you know what? I've got to be able to sleep at night. I've got to enjoy what I'm doing. And in order to do that, I need to work with or work for some of what I consider best-in-class companies. So I put together over the last few years a portfolio of what I consider best-in-class companies. One company is involved in this cost segregation, helping building owners to be able to maximize their depreciation in their properties, giving them more money, offset their taxes. They pay way less in taxes. The other one is captive insurance, allows additional protection for the business owner, also gives them some tax benefits and opportunities to build wealth. The CHAMP plan is an amazing employee benefit resource that saves money for the employer, also gives the employee some additional health, wellness types of benefits, and actually puts a few extra dollars in their paycheck when it's all said and done. The STAR initiative. We earn money throughout our lives. A lot of us can put money away into 401ks, so we're not paying taxes on it today. We put it into a 401k, but when we retire and are required to take those distributions, we will be paying taxes on that money at that time. The STAR initiative can help eliminate 75% of those taxes that people will pay at retirement. Easy Equipment is another opportunity for people to save money, to earn money, and to pay way, way less in taxes. I've been blessed to meet some of what I consider real gurus in the benefit world. And we've helped some companies to set up and save their employees, save the company, save the owners extensive amounts of money by customizing benefit programs. 50-50, flexible and free. This amazed me when I first heard of it. And when I met the folks that I'm working with now that have designed this opportunity allows somebody with business debt, maybe it's mortgage debt from a portfolio of properties that they own, but it allows them to take that debt, say they've got $2 million worth of debt over a 25-year amortization period. We've helped clients in that type of a situation take that $2 million in debt over 25 years, pay it off in 13 years without having to go out of pocket any additional money. So they're paying it off in 13 years using portion of the funds coming from them without increasing or doubling up their payments, and the other portion at the end of that 13 years to pay that balloon off comes from strategic tax savings initiatives. How cool is that? We also help folks reduce everyday expenses, whether it's expenses related to their cable, internet. There's some opportunities there. Business and college debt. I'm working with a couple right now that has $250,000 worth of college loans. We basically help them to wipe those loans out and help them to build wealth at the same time. So as I mentioned, I do some things in the energy efficiency sector as well. There's something called community solar that allows people, whether they own their own home or renting a condo or an apartment or whatever, to actually subscribe to support a local solar farm. The Mid-Atlantic area is prime for this. Other parts of the country have community solar farms as well. But here in Maryland, for example, I belong to a farm in White Marsh. The farm makes energy on my behalf, funnels it to the electric grid, BG&E draws it off of there, sends it to me. And for that, I get a 10% savings every month on my electric spend. There's no cost to sign up, and there's no cost if for whatever reason you decided to unsubscribe. If you move, take your subscription and move it with you. So that's community solar. We also do some things in the rooftop and ground solar. There are devices out there in the residential and the commercial setting that can actually save on energy consumption and improve efficiency. We do some things on energy procurement in the commercial setting, residential setting as well. And as I mentioned, that CHAMP plan is just an amazing program, potentially saving $500 per employee per year in FICA taxes. So you imagine a company's got 100 employees, they're saving $500 per each of those 100 employees a year. So $50,000 a year directly to their bottom line. The employees see about $1,000 extra in their paycheck at the end of the year, and they receive a number of health wellness benefits. On Call is an interesting platform as well. For about $20 a year, you can have a repository of all your necessary medical information. You get involved in an accident, the emergency personnel come up and see you've got this on-call program. It immediately would allow them to access any medicines or any repository information that you decided to put in there so that they can better care for you at the time that happens. There's even a portion in there where you can have the emergency notification to let your cat out at 5 p.m. as well. So it's a pretty amazing tool for pennies a day. So I want to spend just a little extra time focusing on CSSI and the company that does this engineering-based cost segregation. They've been around about 20 years, and I learned this week we've surpassed our 45,000th project across the country. Truly amazing. These folks, I honestly, as I mentioned, I can sleep at night. They will always, always, always do the right thing. They're always available. And a lot of you folks out there that may be listening now, I'm sure you've experienced where it's commonplace for me to set up a call with the tax professional, with myself and one of our VPs from home office to be able to answer any question, maybe do a little bit of hand holding when it comes to how to place those numbers into the return or whatever the scenario might be. They are the salt of the earth. I have never been disappointed there. So They offer these full engineering-based cost segregation studies that are truly amazing. And the tax laws out there today are unbelievable as far as the power that they have to save companies money and increase that depreciation, offset the income, so save on taxes. So what is cost segregation? This may be fundamental for a lot of you folks, but it's basically analyzing and reclassifying assets of a residential rental, commercial building, multifamily building that are eligible for accelerated depreciation. The end result really is tax savings, which is cash flow. I love this example, and I don't think there's a presentation in the last 6 years that I've ever done where I've not incorporated this. Looking at this screen, you'll see a hamburger, right? If you're old enough to remember the McDonald's familiar jingle of what they use for a Big Mac, 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Considering this as a building using a straight line depreciation model, you would talk about this and relate to it as a hamburger. If you talked about this hamburger or this building using a cost segregated model, you would employ that old time jingle, 2 all beef patties, special sauce, etc. What we do as a company is take that $5 hamburger, and instead of depreciating that 1/39th over the next 39 years and getting 12 cents over to the next 39 years till we've depreciated that, we actually put values on the all beef patties. Might be worth $2. The special sauce may be worth 29 cents. The lettuce may be worth a quarter. The cheese may be worth 79 cents, until the values of the components that make up that Big Mac equal that $5. So that is what we do with residential rental, commercial, and multifamily properties. This is, I'm sure, elementary as well. A lot of 5-7 year properties. We break all these things out and put values on these components that make up the property. Even the lines on the parking lot have a value and can be depreciated more quickly because they fall into that 15-year class life. Who qualifies and who benefits? Basically anybody that owns a building, whether they bought it today, whether they bought it a few years back, doesn't matter. There's opportunities for tax savings. Any type of building really can apply for this as well. Certain buildings, because of the nature of how they're constructed, will naturally garner more depreciable items than other buildings will. For example, a luxury hotel, we will find more assets in that hotel that will qualify for accelerated depreciation than we would in a bare bones warehouse. And something else that is maybe not commonplace for everybody to know about, but folks that are making improvements in properties that they may be leasing. So somebody's paying $5,000 a month for space that they're leasing and then spends $200,000 of their own money to make those improvements. We can cost segregate that $200,000 of their spend and come up with tax savings for there. I'd like to blow this up just a little. Whoops, maybe I can't do it. Uh-oh, what did I do, Jerry? Anyway, this screen here talks about some of the assets that are able to be accelerated. So this is what we consider the 5-year assets. Cabinets in this particular property worth $21,000. Moldings worth $14,000, and so forth. So out of this $668,000 property, we were able to find close to $142,000 that was able to be depreciated more quickly, giving the client many more deductions offset their income. So there's some misconceptions around what we do also. Folks say that it's too good to be true. You can only do it right after you buy the property. Well, that's not really the case because, as I mentioned, you can do it after you buy it, or we can even go back 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years and apply cost segregation to that property. And there's no need to refile a past tax return either. It's just a matter of applying a 3115, letting the IRS know that we're changing that accounting method, and then calculating that 481A adjustment. And we do that, all those calculations on behalf of the tax professional, hand those numbers over to you so you can apply it to the return. Too costly. Well, the cost of these projects years ago was in the tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars per building. But now we're doing $200,000 townhouses in the neighborhood of $3,000 cost, but that's also a tax deduction. So after tax, that $3,000 may be $2,000. So the client gives us $2,000. If we're able to find an extra $35,000 worth of deductions, we've just saved them close to 14,000 in taxes. So they're giving us 2,000, they're saving 13,000. That's a pretty good return on investment. Some clients come to us, building owners, and say, well, doesn't my CPA already do this? And a lot of you folks out there, tax professionals, are pretty good at taking, you'll know the carpet and cabinetry may fall into a 5-7 year depreciation category, landscaping, some parking lot improvements. But if a client's buying a building and from the start, this building's been around a couple of years or however long, you really need an engineering based firm with a construction expertise to come in and place values on these assets. If I do it, I'm subject to an audit. The fact that you've incorporated cost segregation in and of itself will not necessarily open you up to audit. Usually something else out of the client's closet that pops out. When that happens, the IRS drags everything into it. And our work's gotten drug into a number of different cases where the clients have gotten audited for various reasons, but never, ever has the IRS overturned any of the work that we've done on behalf of a client. As I mentioned, you don't have to amend taxes. And if you sell the building, do you have to give it all back? Not necessarily the case. Although if you buy a building this year, we typically recommend that if you're going to sell it in the same year, you may not want to do this. If you're going to sell it next year, you still might not want to do this. But if you're going to hold it for a while, it's definitely worth taking a look at. Very simple for us to provide a free estimate on a building, maybe a real estate listing, depreciation schedule if the client's owned it from a number of years, type of building, cost basis. And just to kind of give a review, I love what I do. I love working with tax professionals and building owners. It's really exciting to see that light bulb go off because people don't know what they don't know. I'm a firm believer of that. There's so much out there in the way of tax savings, cost segregation, captive insurance, the CHAMP plan, the STAR initiative, easy equipment, this 50-50 flexible and free that allows people or companies with real estate debt, mortgage debt over $1 million to pay that down in basically half the time using half of their money and the other half that comes from strategic tax savings initiatives. Business and college debt reduction, energy efficiency, and again, these life-enhancing programs that are out there that ultimately can save lives and definitely can save money. So my pledge to the clients that I work with, the building owners and the tax professionals, is that we'll open more opportunities for savings and growth for you than any of our competitors. And friends, definitely don't let friends overpay for anything. Thank you so much. I truly enjoyed and appreciate this opportunity. Look forward to seeing a lot of you at live sessions this year. And to those of you who have allowed us to work together, I'm so grateful and appreciative and look forward to continuing the relationship.
Thank you so much, Jerry. That was very informative. Next up, we have Ellen Silverstein with, she'll be speaking about the Business Builders Think Tank that MSATP hosts every month. And Ellen, if you're there, I will let you take it away.
Hey there. Good morning, everybody. Ellen Silverstein, first VP at on the board of directors for MSATP. How you doing this morning, Gigi?
I am great. Thank you so much.
Good. I love Jerry's presentation. That was really informative, and I've used him before, so I'll give a plug. It's been very beneficial for my clients when we've done that work. So I highly encourage everybody to check him out. I'm going to talk today about the Business Builders Think Tank and how important it really is for everybody who's a member to try and participate in. So there are several groups, as Gigi will do on the slides, show you where we have different groups. We meet once a month via Zoom. It's awesome. We get together with other colleagues who are in your same position. You are working in an island, right? When you're a self-employed and solo practitioner, you're alone in your own office, wherever that may be, at home or in a building space. But when you're there and you run across something that may be out of your comfort zone, that you're not familiar with, you can contact somebody in your Business Builder Think Tank group and ask for some assistance because somebody else has a specialty or has some knowledge or more experience, and you can contact them, and everybody's very willing to help. I've done it many times in my group, with my group. We have, it's all about the collaboration and not competition. So we are big on that theme, of course, and we encourage everybody to participate because it is so helpful when you get into a space either where you don't know something or you're looking for some advice on how to run your own business. We talk a lot about billing and value billing and how to go about changing your conceptions or your mindset about billing. It's really critical to get other thought from local practitioners and where their billing rates are so that you can be more competitive. I've really encouraged a lot of my MSATP, BBTT members to really focus in on their value proposition so that they are billing at their value. So, because when you don't, then your resale value can be much different. I don't know if you're reading some of the things that have come across my emails have shown that when you don't bill properly, that your resale value on your business, when you go to retire or whatever, just slow down your workload, can be lessened because you're not billing appropriately. So thank you, Gigi, for bringing up those slides. Can we move to the next one, please? So it is a place where we want to be able to talk about whatever is on your mind. So we do meet once a month, as I mentioned, about 9 a.m. So it doesn't interfere too much with your work day. We have providing resources from other practitioners. And meanwhile, then you get to know those practitioners and maybe there's a connection there. You can actually, especially if you're a younger professional looking to grow your business, you can actually make or develop relationships with other BBTT members and then potentially get some referrals for other work. Or maybe they're willing to offload some clients because they're on the downside of their practice at this point. So there's a lot of us oldies, but goodies, who are still working and who are looking to offload clients as needed. So it's a great space to actually develop those relationships or make those connections anyway, and you can build the relationships outside of the group and to actually develop and build your own practice from these other practitioners. So it's just a really helpful group. And as I said, it's all about the collaboration, not competition. There's plenty of work out there for everybody. We are not competing with each other. We are totally about helping each other. We have a certain issue, as I mentioned, we can help. Somebody in the group may have the expertise. We have some attorneys that are attorney and CPAs that are part of my group. We have other people who deal just strictly in estate and trust work, not something I specialize in. I've asked a ton of questions. I've actually contacted them outside of my group to ask those questions. So it's super helpful to build those relationships and make those connections with people. And that's what I think the BBT is all about, is really developing connections and having a space where you feel comfortable asking the stupid question, as it were. No question is stupid. We welcome everybody's input and feedback. We really encourage participation, and we try to talk about things that are top of mind for everybody. You know, some recent change in the tax law. What about this new Transparency Act that I see coming down the pike? You know, we need to get out whatever anybody's read or knows. This is the place to do it. So I really encourage everybody to get involved with a local BBTT in your area that would benefit your own connections in helping you build your own practice and your knowledge base. It just is so helpful. So please feel free to join up, find out from the office which group may be better for you. There's a Frederick group that meets on a different day. Can you go to the next slide there for me, Gigi? Please, or whoever. So there's one in Frederick County, which is run by Joanne. There's one in Howard County run by Dunya and Chris Giavetti. I'm the Montgomery County, and now we have one on the Eastern Shore. So there's a local CPA, Phil Chung, who is running the Eastern Shore along with Barbara Smith. So it's just a super helpful area in which you can participate, ask questions, no questions dumb or stupid, whatever, however you want to see it. We are here to help. And that's what the whole group is about. The Business Builder Think Tank is all about that collaboration, not competition, and that we are encouraging everybody to participate because it's just a great group and we have great ideas come through, different practices. Somebody gave me a line item to use at the bottom of my engagement letter about it, by the fact that you sent me your work. Even if you don't sign my engagement letter, you're actually admitting to or adhering to the terms of my engagement letter. So that was written by an attorney CPA. So I was like, that's a great sentence. Would you be willing to share that? He said, yes. So guess what? I've added it to mine. So this is that opportunity to sort of expand your own business acumen, how you practice, your best practices, different ideas, tax queries, whatever. So much like our own internal question where you have different questions, MSATP has a blog chat for that, but we can do it here also. You know, the BBT at the meetings, we do talk about different things that come up, especially as it relates to changes in the tax laws, et cetera. So we all have to be on top of it. So it's a really, really great group, and I can't encourage everybody enough to actually participate, get involved, join up, come into the meetings, and see what it's all about. Just check us out, if nothing more, to see if it would be something that maybe you'd like to start your own group, as a matter of fact. So that can work too. So we're all good. And what was the last slide there, Gigi? So make sure you go into your profile, education, figure out which BBTT you'd like to join. You do need to be a member, and I highly encourage everybody who isn't a member to join and participate, because this is just a really vibrant group that then will feed into the BBCC, which is our premier signature conference that we'll be offering. So you should definitely check it out, because that too involves the best practices, different things that you can contact, and that's mostly an in-person. We have done it online, but we're doing it in person this year, and I really encourage the in-person when you can attend. It's super helpful, and it's just a great place that you can, again, build those relationships to make those, further those connections that you might have made at the BBTT, and then get to know the people that you're working with or seeing every month, and figuring out if maybe there's some synergy there that you could connect with more fully and either get clients or offload clients, in whichever direction you're choosing to go to at this, whatever point in your career. But most of us are all solo practitioners. Some have small offices with small staff, but we welcome everybody. And it's just a great place to share ideas, ask questions, do what we need to do. We're a good resource. They can refer you to different, places or people or whatever. I made a connection with somebody who's got familiarity with some international tax issues, and I have a client that is having a query about international tax issues. So I've now referred her to him. And so that's another great purpose. And my client thinks I'm golden because I've done that. So It's just a really great place, and I can't encourage everybody enough, as I said, to participate in a BBTT near you. Thank you.
And Ellen, we did have one question come through. Someone asked if you can join more than one group.
That's very possible. If you have the time and you have the energy, absolutely. So I've participated in other groups just to see what's going on, what other topics might be discussed. If I could bring that back to my group, but yes, absolutely. You can join the Howard County and you can join Montgomery County. You can do Frederick and Howard and Montgomery and now the Eastern Shore. As a matter of fact, I'd like to join the Eastern Shore because I'm currently down in the Eastern Shore, so I should. And Phil's a great guy. So it's just a great opportunity to expand your knowledge base, expand your resource capabilities, and make connections with those that would be particularly helpful and could be particularly helpful for you.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I did realize that I jumped ahead a bit. We should have had Matt Johnson with Talking with Tax Speaker next, so I apologize about that.
That's okay, but I'm happy to fill in. Okay, so,
Matt, are you there? Thank you, Ellen.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can't see you.
Uh-oh. Let's see what we got here. Oh, no. Let me play with the webcam here for just a second. Well, Gigi, I might have to mess with this for a minute. It's not allowing my webcam right now.
Oh, it's fine. I think we can go ahead and put up your presentation if you have one.
Yeah, hang on one second here. Let me see if I could share my screen.
Okay.
Showing a participant is sharing their screen. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm getting an error. It says you cannot share screen while the other participant is sharing.
Okay, let me see if there's something I can do on my end. There you go.
You got me now?
See you. Perfect.
Hey, that's a plus, maybe. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we could share the screen now. I still can't share my screen, so I don't know if somebody else is sharing right now or not. But I just want to thank you guys, you and Kelly, for having us on here today. Tax Speakers wanting to, we have a great partnership with MSATP. We've worked with them for 15 years now. Bob's kind of brokenhearted. He's traveling off to, I believe, Salt Lake City this Thursday and Friday, so he couldn't be on here. Let me see, but I was able to get a video of him just kind of summarizing the Q&A. And then I figured one of the best ways to show the Q&A is actually just to play a sample that we have from a few weeks ago. So basically, one of the issues with Talking with Tax Speaker that we had and why it came up was Bob only has so many hours in the day, and he was getting hammered with 700 questions a week. He felt it was his responsibility to reach out and respond to each one. One thing we were finding, so many of these questions were the same question. Yeah, he might get 700 a week, but only 100 of those might have been unique. So what we did is we came up with the Talking with Tax Speaker series, and where attendees across the country send in questions. We use info@taxspeaker.com. They send the questions in, I compile the questions, and every week, every other week, we send about 15 questions to Bob. He records them. We post it live. MSATP liked the idea. We like MSATP. We formed a partnership, and they're actually offering it to you guys at a discounted price, which is fantastic. So if we can, let's just go ahead and play this video, short video of Bob, and then we're going to get like a 10-minute Q&A. And then if you guys have questions after, we could go ahead and do that.
Hi, everybody. Bob Jennings, tax speaker, talking with you about the Q&A program from the Maryland Society. Several years ago, we were welfare tax speakers were running 700 questions, unable to answer all the questions. Many of them good, but one of the things we noticed quite often is the same question as for many different people. But also notice the uniqueness of each and every question. We came up with the idea of every week, occasionally every 2 weeks, answering 10 to 15 of these questions so that everybody around America can get the benefit of that answer. I get the same question from 5 different cities. Clearly, it's something that we need to answer. So we developed the Q&A program, and it's been very unique in that it enables us to answer quite unique, specific questions on things like the Secure Act or the the Inflation Reduction Act, or special things on estates or gifts or whatever it may be, and everybody can benefit from it. The program has taken off. We've now answered, I don't remember, somewhere like 5 years. We're entering into our 5th year. But here's some of the things that I hear from around the country. One of my friends is a guy that owns a CPA firm in Bradenton, Florida. And his name's Kevin Hassel. And I said, Kevin, how do you guys do it at your office? And he said, Bob, every week when the questions come in, we sit around the desk at lunch or the lunch table, conference table at lunch. They said, we'll play the question, then we'll turn it off, and we'll talk about it ourselves amongst ourselves. Here's how we think. We'll turn it back on, hear the official answer, and then we'll turn it back off again and say, now here's how it applies to client XYZ and ABC, et cetera. I hear that repeated from many people around the country, that has been for them one of the most valuable learning and training tools that they have encountered, because we have such a diverse range of questions. In a given week, I'll have a question on, this week I had a question on an embezzlement of hundreds of thousands of dollars from an IRA. I'll get questions on international tax, on how do I report a gift coming from overseas? What about foreign earnings? What about I'm borrowing money to buy a second home? It's the extent of what you and I do, and you'll be able to file these away. And one of the really neat advantages is you can go back and hear those questions again. I'd love to see it, one of the Q&A programs. I think it's a tremendous value. The price is an incredible value. You know, it's $160 some a year. Well, I don't know about you, but I bill it a whole lot more than that for 1 hour. So I think it's an incredible value with great useful information and a little bit of fun. And we'll always try to throw in an occasional freebie during the course of the year, something to help you out. So hope to see you at the Q&A. If not, I'll see you around the country here, maybe in person at a seminar in Gaithersburg or Frederick or Baltimore. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of Talking with Tax Speaker number 227 for June 20th, 2023. 13 questions this week. Let's go ahead and get into them. Number 1, Bob, I have a college professor that teaches in Florence, Italy for a few months every year. College pays his salary and reimburses a portion of these expenses. And under prior law, I was able to deduct those expenses on Form 2106. Is there any provision under current law that would allow these unreimbursed expenses to be deductible anywhere? No, there's not. 2106 is not allowed. Employee business expenses are not allowed. End of story. However, you might be able to get the university to reclassify some of the payments made to the professor as an expense reimbursement under an accountable plan and lower the income reported to that professor, but that's all we got right now. Number 2, if you are signed up for Medicare, can you contribute to a health savings account? If so, is it worth it to do so? Once you sign up for Medicare, you are no longer allowed to contribute to health savings account. Once you've signed up, it's not age, it's when you have signed up. Once you've signed up for Medicare, you're no longer allowed to contribute to an HSA. If you have an existing HSA, you may continue to use that account to pay for medical bills, but you can no longer add to it. Number 3, I prepared amended 941s to claim the ERC for quarters in 2020 using the webinars as a guide. Our webinars. The client received letters for 2020 indicating a refund is due, but only for the refundable credit, not the non-refundable credit. I thought the client receives both. My software computed both. Have the rules changed? And I've signed up for the webinar coming up. Hopefully she will address this. Both refunds are still available. The rules have not changed. And when Terry did this, she addressed this specific question in that class. If you have a similar question, you might want to look at that webinar. It's a little more in depth than we get in here. But yes, both credits are still available. And Terry would have addressed that there, Terry Baker. Number 4. A little while ago, you talked about removing electronic information that is outside of your retention guidelines. Can you clarify how this impacts old versions of your tax software? Should these programs and the resulting client data contained therein be removed as well? I do delete files in the software that's older than our records retention policy, that's outside the boundaries. I do not delete the software in case of a carryback, and then I pray I don't ever get a carryback because the data files are no longer there. But you got a records retention policy. You can modify your policy and keep the old tax data files, but think about it, the tax data files are part of your data retention and record retention policy. So we do delete the old data files as well, back what is more than 4 years ago. Number 5, I have an 18-year-old client. And in the past, we've been filing a kitty tax for her. You can read on, but here's where she is now. She's 18. She turned 18 in 2022. She dropped out of school earlier this year, moved into an apartment with her boyfriend. She's had a baby. She's making every mistake you could possibly make, but she has over $100,000 of capital gains from this money that she received in the lawsuit years ago. My instinct tells me I don't need to subject her to kitty tax, but I'd like confirmation of this. Well, I went to Form 8615. I read those instructions real closely. I think she flunks Rule 3B that says, that talks about earned income. She doesn't have any earned income. I think the kitty tax is still due, even though she had a baby. That's Bob's opinion. Maybe there's something that I'm missing here, very likely, but Rule 3B does say that she has to have enough earned income to pay over half of her living expenses. It doesn't say anything about unearned income. I think it's aimed at situations like this. My summary, I hope I'm wrong, but I think the kitty tax is due. Number 6, could you point me in a direction to find someone who can assist me with the new FTC safeguards rule? I'm a sole practitioner with no employees and having a lot of difficulty finding someone or a firm that can assist me. I keep getting emails from a firm called Tech for Accountants offering a package that will meet the requirements, but I don't know anything about them. Are you familiar with them, the package they provide? Would you recommend them, or do you have anybody else? Or do we provide the services to small firms? About 3 weeks to a month ago, Ryan and I recorded our 2023 security class. The first hour of that class, I spend developing and providing to you a template for a written information security program, what you're talking about here. So there are the instructions and the guide and a template and a sample plan, actually mine, that is in our security class. And you can find that class anytime. What about Tech for Accountants? We have talked to them. We feel comfortable. I'm not going to recommend them. I'm not going to knock them, but I will say we felt comfortable after talking to them. They will develop it for you. I know it'll cost substantially more than the security class, but you don't have to do a whole lot more work. You have to do some. But to answer your question, we have it in our security class, the template, as well as a guide to doing it. And then we provide one. And I'm comfortable with Tech for Accountants as well. How's that? Number 7, during the security webinar, Ryan mentioned the company you guys use for the annual penetration testing. He couldn't remember the name. The name of the company is Superior Consulting LLC. I've given you a hyperlink, and it cost about $2,000. Number 8, I remember correctly, you use UltraTax by Thomson Reuters. Do you use OnVO, and do you find it useful? OnVO is like a customer relationship management software, workflow management, etc. Yes, I do use UltraTax. I've used it for many years. I do not use OnVO. I have not felt the need or desire to use it. It's a very expensive product. I've never heard anything bad. I know people use it. We have chosen not to. We don't think that what it adds is enough for the cost that it provides. Number 9, in order to be an EA, do you have to be a U.S. citizen or live in the USA? Can anyone be an EA? And would you mind sharing the requirements list? Well, no, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You don't even have to live in the U.S. But you do have to have a P10, and I've given you a link to that below. There are 5 steps to become an EA, starting with a P10. The hardest one is the second one. It's 3 parts. Part 2, which is take the 3 parts of the EA exam. That's the hard part. And then number 3, pass it, of course. Number 4, once you've passed all that stuff, you fill out a simple form with the IRS to be an EA. Yes, I am an EA as well. I'm a CPA and an EA. And then you have to prove a background check to make sure that, you're not in federal penitentiary or something like that. Number 10, I have a minister who's not elected out of Social Security, and his church withholds Social Security and Medicare and pays half for it. In Bob's clergy tax course, this is not correct, but if the church chooses to pay half the taxes, is that okay? It does create a bit of a problem, but we can handle it. What should we advise the church? Well, a minister is required to pay their own FICA and Medicare, the entire 15.3%. If their employer pays half for them, the employer is providing additional income to them. The W-2 is therefore wrong, as are the 941s. The church can't do this. They're doing it, but they're filing incorrect W-2s and 941s because by paying someone else's taxes, they're giving that individual income and not reporting. So the church needs to stop doing this. And there's our summary. They need to stop. It's wrong. All 941s are incorrect and technically should be amended. Oh, thank you, Bob. Number 11, what happens with an active 754 election on a partnership that elects S Corp status? Are the partners with outside basis allowed to bring that basis into the corporation as the partnership is in effect terminated as of the S election date? Well, the 754 election is a partnership only election, and upon conversion, it's not allowed anymore. Code section 1366 on S Corps don't allow special allocation. So here's what's happened. Partnership makes the special allocations on the day they convert, that stops, and the partner's basis at that date becomes their basis at the S corporation. No further adjustments are made. It comes to a stop on the conversion date because there's no 754 adjustments inside the S corp. Number 12, I know the rules for individuals renting a house at below fair market value. What if the landlord is a partnership and the partnership's renting at below fair market value? I know they can't deduct or carry forward a loss. What deductions are they entitled to? I don't think the answer would change. I think the answer is their deductions of the partnership would be limited to interest and taxes as well. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I feel fairly comfortable with the answer I've just given you. And then finally, number 13, Bob, how do you determine how much cyber insurance I need? And do you have anybody you recommend? In our security class, I talked that the average cyber insurance claim is around 300 to 350,000. I suggest 500,000. That's what I have. That's what we suggest. I look at the average, I look at the risk, and we carry 500,000. I now get mine through Hiscox, HISCOX.com, Hiscox.com for our cyber insurance. Hey, that'll take care of it for this week. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks, everyone.
So that gives us a little sample of what the Q&A looks like on any given week. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. It looks like we do have one question. Oh, two now. And these may be questions more so for Bob, but you can give it a shot. If a church pays something to Social Security, can't they include it in box 1 of W-2 as income?
It's for sure going to be a question for Bob. I know he would love to tackle that one, though. If that is one thing that I want to say, If you guys sign up with Talking with Tax Speaker through MSATP, I believe they go to Gigi. Gigi forwards those over to us. I don't want to tell anybody because one thing with Talking with Tax Speaker, we do get so many. We can't guarantee the questions answered. I will say I'm the one that picks the questions. I know the MSATP questions get a little star beside them. So if that gets sent over, I will make sure that gets included in the next video.
All right, and then we have another question. It says, if I am already subscribing with Talking with Tax Speaker, how do I switch to the MSATP version?
You can just call the office and we'll get you canceled. It depends kind of if it's an annual subscription or monthly with us. Regardless, we will get you canceled. So you are given the green light to sign up with MSATP. But yeah, just call the tax speaker office or email me direct, mattj@taxspeaker.com, and I'll make sure we get that cancellation going.
Awesome. I think that is it. Thank you so much, Matt.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And next up, we have Hannah Coyle. She will be speaking about MSATP's ethics and education.
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Coyle. I am the Education Committee Chair for MSATP. I'm also second vice president on the board of directors. I just want to share a little bit of information of what you get education-wise as an MSATP member. So first, arguably, probably the biggest draw is the free ethics. If you take ethics through us, you're actually paying more than membership. So you might as well be a member if you want to take our ethics. But as a member, you get 2 hours free each year for ethics. For EAs, that's every year. For CPAs, it's going to be every other year since that's just a requirement. We offer those twice a year. They're virtual. And I believe our second ethics of the year is in October. If you still need your ethics, that's the only other one we have. So go ahead and sign up for that. You can find that on the website. You can call the office, email the office, whatever you want to do to get signed up. But if you're a member, use it. The second benefit to being a member for education is we do offer some free webinars for our members. This year, we've already done one. I believe it was practice management or something related to that. I forgot to look up exactly what it was called. But for the rest of the year, we have lease accounting coming up. We have the Corporate Transparency Act, and we have succession planning. These are free for members, but you do still have to sign up. So again, if you want to sign up for those, check online, call the office, email the office, whatever works best for you to get signed up. But that will, be an additional benefit to membership. Another item is our signature event, which is the Business Builders Connection Conference. It's kind of the BBTT on steroids. This year, it's November 3rd and 4th in Annapolis. It's Friday evening and all day Saturday. It's for solo and small firm members. You don't necessarily have to be, the principal or the owner. If you have an interest in firm management or making processes better, this year is the year to come. It's a lot of practice management related items this year. So I believe an email just came out last Thursday, I think it was, about it. But you can also check online, call the office, email the office. They'll get you taken care of, give you some information for it, but that is a members only event. So if you are not a member and would like to attend, please join, and then it's all yours. The last item is we offer discounts on education for our members. You can save up to $150 for an event. So that would be for like a 2-day 1040 in-depth webinar or in person. But all of our education is discounted as a member, so additional benefit. Honestly, not even including everything else we have. Education, the discounts you get and the free items you get will pay for your membership pretty quickly, so there's really no reason not to be a member. All of our education is virtual except for our large events. So the 1040 in-depth, the business tax in-depth, there's a couple that may be randomly in person, but generally we're doing most things virtually. There's your dates for those complimentary CPEs. October 19th is our last ethics of the year, so go ahead and get signed up for that if you need it. And these are all virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can sit in your pajamas at home if you want to. And then finally, the last thing I want to say is please let us know if you have any suggestions or items you would like for education. We are always looking for recommendations. If you hear a speaker through another organization that you really like, let us know. We're always we want to give our members what they want and what they need. So please shoot Gigi an email, call Katie at the office, however you would like to pass along that information, but please share it with us. We really want to give our members what they would like to see. That is all I have, but I am open for questions.
All right, looks like we have one question. Do you only offer the basic ethics courses?
Enrolled agents ethics has to be what it is. It's the 2-hour course every year, basically a repeat each year, but that is what it is. But for CPAs, we are looking into additional offerings, beyond just the basic thing that everybody has sat through year after year after year. A couple maybe as fun as ethics can get, offerings to meet that 4-hour biannual requirement.
Great, I think that's it. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, and it is time for our trivia questions. You can answer the question by using the, let's see, what do we do? The chat box. And the first person to answer the question will receive the opportunity to win a free 1 or 2 hour webinar of your choice. All right, let's see. What is the first question? What year was MSATP founded? No responses yet. All right. Ellen has won. 1959 is the correct answer. Please just reach out to Katie, who will get you all set up for a free 1 or 2 hour webinar. Thank you.
Is that the same link that I can answer questions for if need be?
Yeah,
All right, and next up, let's see, are we going to do another trivia question? Okay, I guess we're moving on to Canopy. All right, next up we have Canopy, and we will have Michael hop on and tell us a little bit about Canopy and the MSATP partnership.
Okay.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Gigi. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. And can you see my screen okay too?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Gigi, thank you for having me, folks. My name is Michael with Canopy. So Canopy, we are a web-based cloud-based practice management. And then how the way that we built our software is around the client management. So the foundation of our software is client management. So this is where you can integrate with we can integrate with your email, with your calendar, so that way when you log in, you'll be able to see all of your clients in one centralized location. And then on top of that is we have these 4 different modules, right? And it's the way this design is you pick and choose what is best for your firm. So first and foremost is this is the document management. This allows you to replace your server, as well as the ability to share and send files to your clients. Also the ability to sign documents, as well as annotate and add mention your team members. Secondly is the project management workflow. This is where you can create one-off project, or you can create them on a template and be able to send it out to your team members and then have them collaborate, as well as we do have some automation built out. And then thirdly is the time and billing, right? So right on the project management, this is where you can track time on that project, and then this allows you to determine if you want to build that by if an hourly base or a project base, or if it's something that you want to reoccur monthly, weekly, quarterly. And then last but not least, we have partnered with the IRS as their official partner in pulling transcript. So once you have your power of attorney been submitted to the IRS, now you can pull transcript directly into Canopy. So with that being said, what I want to do now is I want to dive into the software and able to kind of talk about Canopy a little bit more further. So again, so this is all web-based. So when you log in, this is the landing page. On the left-hand side, this is where you can have your main control center. Anytime that you want to start something, bring in a new client, create a new task, requesting documents from the client, this is where we'll kind of help you kickstart your project. And as you can see, the landing page will have all of your event meetings that you have with your Google Outlook would come over. And then here to the right, this will show you all the tasks and assignment that's been assigned to you and the due date. So the whole goal here is just make sure that we don't get things fall through the crack. So from here, we're going to go top to bottom. So inbox. So again, all of your email would flow in here. And what you can do too is you can reply on this. We do build out some really nice feature where you can also be able to add mention your team members. In here, when you reply to a client, we added chat GPT. So instead of spending 10-15 minutes to drop that email, you can do a 1 sentence, let's say your task is done, pick the style, the tone, and then we will able to help you drop that email. So that way, folks, you guys don't need to waste your time, on that. And then also from here too is you can take this email and then attach it to a task. So here is the template that I create for a 1040. I can attach to that. Here's where I'm going to put in my clients. Then the assignee will be your project manager, right? And then hit create and manage. So again, so all I'm doing is just I'm taking this email, attaching it to a task, and then assigning it out to my two other team members that we have within the firm. And then here is our workflow that has the 5-step, and then here's that email that we just recently attached to it. Second, from here, let's go to the client list. So when you go in, this is where you will see all of your clients. The beauty of this is you can put them into different groups or subset based on the service that you guys provide. So in here, I have tags. So again, this is all customizable. If I want to see all my clients that we have do 1044, we'd apply. There it is. A great use case for this is be able to send out a mass email to all of our clients, give them updates. Or if we have a task that we have already built out, we can quickly grab it and then apply that template. So then every single of clients will have the same workflow. Now, when clicking on a client, this is the client profile. On the left-hand side, you will see their vital information, spouse, dependent, important contacts, their firms, or if they have, worked with any financial advisor. And then to the right, this will kind of give you a quick snapshot of all the things that we have going on with this particular client, right? Any opening tasks, files that they recently uploaded or our team uploaded to the cloud. Any notes, so imagine no more sticky notes laying around your office. And then at the very bottom here, this will show you any upcoming meetings event that you will have with this particular client, right? Just kind of moving on to the document piece. So when you click on files, this is all the files that we have pertaining to this client, Jim Helpert. You can have folder, subfolder. Anytime that you open up a folder, you will see on the right hand side, there will be a blue icon or a gray icon. Blue meaning that we have shared the file with the client, that would able to jump on their portal and be able to view it. Gray meaning that we haven't shared it with them yet. So I just want to quickly show you what that portal will look like. The nice thing with this portal, it is all custom branding, so you can put your logo, your image, and then we also have an app available both for you and your clients. So right from the app, pretty much anything that they can do on the web, they can do on the app. Signing documents, uploading documents, making bill payments on here, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign in as a client through the client portal, so that way everyone can see what's that look like. So when signing in, again, this is the landing page. They can see how much that they owe us, all the things that we have asked them to do, and then any recent file that we have shared with them. And then to the left, just kind of break it down to those specific modules, right? So here are all the files in here. They can quickly add file to us. And then here is billing. So this is where they can click on an invoice, make payments. They can use credit cards, ACH, or if they want this to monthly, if you want this to monthly recur, you can also set it up on your end as well. Just kind of move it on to the next module, is the workflow. So quickly, right in the template, we have about, give or take, about 40 to 50 different accounting template built out for you. So if you want, you can use this as a structure, and from here you can modify the task however you like. One that I kind of showed you guys earlier is a 1040. So here in this 1040, right, this has 4 steps, and then each step of the way you can have a designated assignee, as well as the ability to collaborate with our clients. So for example, if we're missing forms and we ask our clients to send in the form, you can do that from here. And then instead of having our team members constantly reaching out to the client, we have built out a auto reminder for you. So all you need to do is set the due dates, and then how often do you want us to remind your client on your behalf, up to 60 days. So once you have that done, you hit send now, and then the client will receive an email on their end, and then that will direct them to the portal. Right from the portal, they can quickly upload those documents to you from here. Since this is all encrypted, SOC 2 compliance, if they want to share any sensitive information, they can also do that from here as well. They can use this as a way to communicate with us, and then hit send back. And then right from here too is, once you refresh, those documents would come in, and then you can see the message that the client have responded back. And then these 2 documents that we just received, when you click on the client profile under file, they would be right here. So then you can quickly view it and then put it into the right folder, and then get back to your task at hand. And then just kind of moving on here, and then we do have the time billing aspect to this. So on the right hand side, as you can see, there is a timer. You can click on this. This is where you can keep track of your time. And then when you hit save, so what I've done with mine is I kind of round up to the quarter of an hour, but again, you can adjust this however you like, a quarter of, a 10th of an hour, or you want to track minute by minute. Again, you'd have that ability. And then lastly, all you need to do is you need to put in the service type that was so that way we can correlate this to our service fee. And then once for billing, you can go into the time report, WIP report, and be able to pull that time that we just did, and then quickly create an invoice. So this allows you to charge the client by your own rate, or if you want, you can change it by the service, and then quickly send this out to the client. This is where they will receive it on their portal, and then from here they can quickly go in and then make payments right from the portal. So Gigi, that would kind of a quick 10 minutes 15 minutes overview of our platforms. I'd love to take any question if any of the members have any.
Sure, Michael, we do have one question. Is Canopy secure and reliable?
It is. So yes, so we are SOC 2 compliant. So everything has been it is encrypted 256 bits, and then we do have two-factor authentication with so both from the practitioner side and then from the client side as well.
Great. It looks like we have another question. What are the training and support options?
Yeah, so great question. So the onboarding process, it takes between 30 days to 60 days. So this is where we will help you bring in all of your clients from tax software, accounting software, and we would kind of hold your hand to help you kind of migrate your files, as well as help you build out your templates. And then we do, and then once you have fully onboarded, you will have a dedicated account manager. This is someone that will be your main point of contact here at Canopy. And then it's in terms of support, it is live person. Everyone that you talk with work here at Canopy. We do not outsource any of that function to a third party. So when you chat in, you call in, it would be a live person, and then we do have live videos to answer. A lot of times you might need to say, hey, how do I do this? So we have a library, support library to have all of those questions that you might have.
Great. It looks like we have one more question. Do we purchase all the modules?
No, you don't have to. The way that's designed is you pick and choose what is best for your firm. So that way, we don't want to be. We want to give you a holistic approach to your firm management. But again, every firm is differently. So yeah, you pick and choose what is best for your firm.
Great. Well, I appreciate you joining us today. If someone wanted to sign up for Canopy, how do they get in touch with you?
Yes. The great question. So here is my email, and then what I can do too is I can paste it in our chat, and then feel free to send me an email, and then we can schedule more of an in-depth demo.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yep. Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks. So up next, we are going to have Haley Jennings with USB Payments. Haley, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. So whenever you're ready, you can take it away.
Okay. Good morning, guys. My name's Haley. I'm here representing USB. I'm sure you're not used to seeing my face, but I'm super excited to get involved in your organization and be spending a lot more time with you. A little bit about me real quick is I'm a marketing coordinator, and I was born and raised here in Baltimore, Maryland. So to tell you a little bit more just about who USB is and how we came to be here, we were started in 1996 by our founders, Mark Riedman and Donnie Lala. They decided they were going to start this company without any prior experience, which I know sounds a little crazy. They decided to just jump in the deep end, but they persevered and put the dedication in. What this looked like was canvassing up and down the streets for 5 months until they were finally able to acquire their first client. Now, what this taught them that continues to stay in our community is that every single client matters, no matter what their size, because without them, we wouldn't be here today. So for us, the most important things are community, people, and local. We understand that our local ecosystem is extremely vital, especially to small businesses. And seeing as we are a fellow small business, we pride ourselves on being a company run by locals for locals. So If you notice here on the left, you can see 10 community banks. These are our partners that our founders have been cultivating relationships since the beginning of our organization. And they entrust us not only to do their processing, but their clients' processing as well. We want to start to develop this kind of trust with accountants in the future. So our journey here at MSATP. We have been a sponsor here at MSATP since 2015. What this means is we have immersed ourselves in your community with also attending every single live event you have. What this has done for us is it has given us insight into the challenges that you guys face in the payment sphere. By doing this and spending these years talking to you and getting to know you, we've been able to cultivate an idea that we believe is going to help you and your client. So, the merchant comparison tool. It delivers real-time data in just 30 seconds, which I know seems a little bit unbelievable, but our algorithm is decided by live rates that we collect here in the state of Maryland, so that you can be assured the rates that you are giving your clients are correct. So, to start with us today, you're going to register and try the tool out. But if you decide to try our tool out today, you'll be inducted into our founders group. What this means for you is that by January 1st, we are going to implement a monthly subscription on this tool. But because you have helped us and decided to start this process early, we are going to include not only discounts, but benefits for you. Now, when you use this tool, it isn't required that you submit statements to us, as you can see on the bottom of the screen. But we encourage you submit your blacked out statements to the email selected below. The reason we encourage this is because we know that merchant statements can be very tricky. We know that your clients might be asking you questions you don't always have the answer to. So we want to ensure that you and this tool are getting the correct data points. When you submit these statements to us, we will look over that and your results to ensure that what you're giving your clients is 100% accurate. And if it's not, we will explain to you where it was wrong so that you can correct that problem for the future. And not to mention, for every 5 statements that you decide to submit to us, you're eligible to receive a $100 Amazon gift card, which I'm pretty sure we all love Amazon. Jeff Bezos really did a good one on that. But I'd like to take a moment to introduce you guys to Paul. So Paul owns a sandwich shop here in Baltimore. He's been in business now for about 5 years. In the last year, he's seen the trajectory of his business really take off. Now, normally, this is a good thing for a small business, but for Paul, this was very nerve-wracking. See, he doesn't understand his books or the numbers that he receives on his merchant statements. He has no idea if he's getting good rates or if he's losing money, or who knows, could be saving a lot of money. So Paul decided he wanted to make sure the trajectory of his business kept going up. So he reached out to a local accounting firm. That is where we meet Bob. Bob has been an accountant now for the past 20 years. He has done this job all his life and he loves it more than anything. The opportunity to help these small businesses achieve their goals and aspire to even more. Recently, a local payment processing company reached out to Bob. See, they wanted him to try out this new tool they've been working on, the merchant comparison tool. They wanted him to implement it into his everyday practices to see the effects that it had on him and his clients, hoping as well that they can make adjustments for the future so that they could provide even better services. So Bob took this opportunity and used the tool on Paul. Here's what he found. He found that because of who Paul decided to process through, he was not receiving the best rates possible. What this means is that if Paul shopped around and looked for better deals, he was eligible to save up to $500 a month. That might not seem like a lot of money in the grand scheme but to a small business, that's everything. That's $6,000 annually. $6,000 he could be saving each year to put towards his dream of owning a food truck. $6,000 he would not have seen elsewhere. And the best part for Paul was he didn't even ask his accountant to look at who he was providing merchant services through. He just did that on his own, and he was so astonished by the results. He knew that he was going to continue to use Bob and his firm. Now, the merchant comparison tool just takes 30 seconds and you input 3 data points. Not to mention, you have customer service at your fingertips. We know that sometimes reading these merchant statements can be hard and that different card providers write their statements differently. That's why we are here to help you through this process and give you a hand wherever we can. To us, the biggest goal here is not to help always save money for the client, but ensure that they are using the best services provided so that they're getting the best rates. As you can see, you just have to sign up and log in. You'll enter your 4 data points from your statements, and then it will generate a report from the snapshot and you will receive that comparison chart. Now, this is an example of what your comparison chart could look like. If you look on the left, you can see a monthly savings of about $650. But if you look on the right, you can see upwards of $6,000 a month. This illustrates that this tool is not only for small businesses, it can be used for any size. As you can see too, the estimated yearly savings is in green. Let's say the person that they are being provided through is doing a great job and they are providing the best rates possible. You will see a different screen. It will say congratulations and the number will be in red because there is no money to be saved. But that is still a win on your part and the client's, because you get to go back to that client and let them know, hey, this is great. You're right where you need to be. There's nothing to worry about. And just to reiterate, we know confidentiality is extremely important and we put that at the top of our list. You see here on the right, the names are blacked out and the company name is blacked out. We don't want to know any information about who that business is. We just want to see their numbers. So why not try it? It's 3 effortless steps that could help elevate your practice. You have customer service available at your fingertips, so you're always able to ensure that you are providing the best services possible with accurate results. Not to mention, we have a rewards program that you can save, that you can earn up to $100 for every 5 statements. So create an account today. We want to continue to cultivate our relationship with accountants and become trusted members. So try the merchant comparison tool, level up and become a hero for your clients.
Thank you, Haley. Let me see if we have any questions for you. It looks like we do. What benefits does your company receive from utilization of this tool?
So for us, it's important for us to not only strengthen our relationship here in the accounting community and provide you with this tool, but we are able to help you provide a service where you're able to see if your customers are receiving the best rates. Now, also what this means is biannually interchange rates will change through card processing companies. This means that your customers' rates could be going up, and that is a great time to be using that. So when you do use it, it gives you the opportunity to say, hey, maybe you're not getting the best rates. That doesn't mean that you have to come to us to provide those rates, but now you have the opportunity to look elsewhere.
Okay, great. Looks like another, how often should we be running our clients' merchant statements through this tool?
Yes, so as I just briefly mentioned previously, interchange rates happen biannually. So what that looks like is before those interchange rates are implied, we will send out an email reminder and let you know that that season's coming up. That way you can run these statements through the tool and make sure that they are still getting the best rates possible, because it is potentially possible for those rates to change and maybe they aren't getting the best numbers.
Great. Looks like we have one more. Is the tool only available to MSATP members?
Yes, so currently we are only offering this tool to MSATP members until January 1st. We want to give you guys the opportunity to feel this tool out first and see how you like it.
Great, thank you, Haley. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you or USB, how should they reach you?
Yes. So as I showed on the previous slide, you can reach us here at statements@merchantcomparisontool.com, or you can call our office and ask for me directly, Haley Jennings, and we can help you answer any questions you have.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Haley.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, up next, we have Blake Oliver with Earmark. Blake, are you on?
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
We can.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. Really looking forward to talking about continuing education, which I know is not normally something people look forward to. It's a thing we all have to do as CPAs or enrolled agents or CMAs. But Earmark is trying to make that a little more fun, a little easier to do anywhere, anytime. So I'll just get right into it.
Sounds good.
So Earmark is a mobile app for Apple or Android devices. You can find it on the App Store. And it came out of feedback from listeners. I host a podcast called The Accounting Podcast, and I've been doing it for a few years. And it's a weekly show where for about an hour, my co-host and I talk about accounting, technology, what's going on in the profession. And we try to make it educational and informative and fun. And eventually, one of our listeners, more than one, started asking, hey, I should be able to get CPE for this. How do I get CPE? As a joke. And that stuck in my head. So eventually I sat down and I looked at the rules regarding continuing education courses, and I figured out that, yes, there is a way to offer self-study CPE for listening to podcasts. So that's what we have built. We've been doing it for 2 years now. And I'm really happy to say that now it is, let's see, I'm going to share my screen here. Now it's a member benefit for MSATP members. So you get free access to the unlimited Earmark DPE subscription. This is what it looks like on the App Store. Just search for Earmark on the App Store. It works on Apple and Android devices. If you have a new Mac, you can also use it on your Mac. So that's what I'm looking at right now. This is the page on the Mac Apple App Store. And once you've got the app, you can download it. You open it up, and the first thing you're going to be asked to do is sign up with an email or a password. Use the same email address that you use for your MSATP account. And that way you will automatically be upgraded when you sign up to a premium unlimited subscription. So I've already got an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in, show you what it looks like. So this is the home screen. This is what you're going to see when you log in. And if you have been upgraded, you'll see Maryland Society of Accounting and Tax Professionals right there at the top. You can tap on that green banner to see your benefits. Subscriber benefits include unlimited courses. You can register for unlimited courses every week. We are up to almost 1,000 courses in our library. It hides ads. You can choose to opt out of sponsored emails for sponsored courses. So you, unlike a free user, you don't have to give your email address. You can if you want to hear from them, if you're interested in the product, but that's a choice. And you support the future of continuing education. So when I'm on this homepage, I simply can scroll down and I can take a look at all the latest courses that we've got on the app. And you can see that it's not just my podcast, the Accounting Podcast. We've got many different podcasts available. Account Trends is a podcast by Intuit. We've got some episodes of The Soul of Enterprise. We've got the CPA Advisory Show, FP&A Today, The Abundant Accountant. Summit Virtual CFO by Anders also contributes content. Some of you may know of Thrival. The Thrivecast is available on Earmark. Jason Stats was on the Lifestyle Accountant Show. You can get CPE or CE for listening to for that episode. And the one I think I want to call out in particular is called Federal Tax Updates, because I think pretty much everybody at MSATP has something to do with federal tax. This show qualifies not just for NASBA CPE, but also for IRS CE. So if you're an enrolled agent, you can get your CE for listening to these podcast episodes, and we will report them automatically on a monthly basis through the IRS portal. This show comes out every 2 weeks. So theoretically, you could earn all the CE you need the whole year by listening to this one show. So let's find a course and take a course. So you saw that I was browsing in the channels screen. You can access that via this television icon. That shows you all the different channels that are on the app, sort of like YouTube channels. You can filter them, you can sort them by title or date. By default, when you come on this page, you'll see the most recent channels. You can also simply search for anything. If you're interested in, I don't know, revenue, you could search for revenue, and the app will do its best to serve up courses that are related to that search term. So let's see, maybe ERC. The ERC roller coaster continues. So that's a great way to search for particular content. You can also filter your courses by not enrolled, in progress, and completed. So these are all of my completed courses here. So let's go ahead and find a course. I'm going to make it easy on myself, and I'm going to search for the accounting podcast because I know I'll be able to pass the quiz for one of my own courses. At least I should be able to. Let's see, I'm going to sort these by date. There we go. Okay, so here's a course. This was an interview with Meryl Johnson of Bean Ninjas. So to start the course, I simply click here, and you're taken by default to the course tab. We also have all the other information you're used to seeing in a CPE course. You can read the description, look at the prerequisites, the field of study, the recommended CPE. There's instructions. You can read about the authors, take a look at reviews. We've got an index with time codes if you are listening on another app and you want to skip ahead or skip around, maybe go back and listen to something. We've got a glossary of key terms. But the main place you're going to be is on this course tab. And most courses consist of 3 learning activities. We've got a podcast episode, review questions, and a quiz. So the first thing you need to do is listen to the podcast episode. You can do that in the Earmark app, or if you have a different place where you like to listen to podcasts, you can do it there. We give you both options. So if I choose the Earmark player, I can actually listen to that episode here in the app on my phone or on my computer if I'm using one of these M1 Macs, and that will load. I also have the option to listen on the web, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And let's say I've already listened to the episode on Spotify. Well, I can simply come in here and mark complete. I've listened to it. Now the next step is to do the quiz. So we've got optional review questions, 3 review questions to practice before you take the quiz. You can do this if you like or not. It's completely optional. And you will get feedback on review questions. So let's try this one. Which of the following strategies does Meryl recommend in response to potential challenges, i.e. client base becomes 0 in a chosen niche? Scaling back operations and downsizing employees, adopt a startup mindset, revert to RTO. I know she doesn't like return to office because she has a virtual firm, and she's probably not going to scale back. So I think startup mindset is the answer. And there we go. That's right. And I get the feedback right there. Now, if I'd answer incorrectly, I get some feedback about why that was incorrect. So I'm going to go back since those questions are optional and proceed straight to the quiz. Quiz is typically 5 questions. You pass 75% and you can earn your CPE certificate. So in this case, you got to answer 4 out of the 5 correctly, and they're all multiple choice. Now on quizzes, you don't get feedback, but you can take the quiz as many times as you need to in order to pass. So if you don't pass the first time, no worries, just go back and start again. I'm not going to try taking this quiz right now because I think you'll all get really bored if I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to a completed course that I've taken. And I'm simply going to take a look at the course, the quiz, and I've skipped past it because I already took it. This is what it looks like when you complete the course. And you can simply click this button up here to email yourself the CPE certificate. And that's how easy it is. If you've already listened to a podcast episode, you can now get your CPE in just a few minutes. And we always appreciate if you want to rate the course, you can do that as well, and even leave a written review if you like. And that helps other users find the best content on the app. That's how you take a course. That's how you earn your CPE. Do this every week, and it'll be a piece of cake to get your continuing education requirement taken care of. We also have ways for you to view your progress. There's an analytics button here in the upper left, where you can see how many CPEs you have earned in each category across a different date range. So you could set the start and the end date for your licensure renewal period, and you could track your progress there. We also filter specifically for IRS CE. And, oh, there we go. We've got a chart here that shows CE or CPE hours by month. Over on your profile, you can change settings such as, well, you can see all the courses you have started. You can see all the certificates you have earned. You can see the reviews you've written. You can email yourself a history of all of your CPE course completions. You can change your PTIN. This is important. If you want us to report to the IRS, you got to put your PTIN in there and your name should match. You've also got a field where you can email, you can CC all of your certificates to another email address. So if you've got an administrator in your firm or a learning and development manager that takes care of tracking your CPE, just put their email address in there. They'll get a copy every time you complete a course. We've also got some other little features, like you can switch to the dark theme if you prefer that, if that's easier on the eyes. If you want to use an external browser to open links, that sort of thing. And that's most of it, I think. We've got a frequently asked questions page. You just tap the question mark if you need help. We are at support@earmarkcpe.com, and happy to help any of the MSATP members if your subscription is not working in the app for some reason. Just send us an email and let us know, and we'll get it straightened out for you.
Great, thanks, Blake. It looks like we do have a few questions for you. One person is asking, my Earmark app says I'm only allowed 1 course per week. Is that correct?
So that is if you are a free user. And if you are an MSATP member, that should not be the case. You should have a subscription on your account. And the reason why that might not be showing up is because there's a mismatch between the email that you signed up for with Earmark and the email you're signed up with MSATP with. So just shoot us an email at support@earmarkcpe.com, and we'll work with MSATP to get that lined up right.
Great. And also you can send, if you want to update your email with the society, you can shoot us an email as well. We can update it on our end so it matches what you are putting into Earmark. All right, looks like we have another question. Do I need to be a CPA to use Earmark and earn CPE credits?
No, you don't. NASBA, we are a NASBA sponsor of CPE. And so all CPAs in all the states can use Earmark, but it also works for certified management accountants, because the Institute of Management Accountants accepts NASBA, CPE, and certain courses on the app that have that tag that says IRS CE will qualify for the IRS CE. IRS only allows courses in federal tax or ethics to qualify for CE. So it's a smaller group of courses, but that podcast, Federal Tax Updates, is a great one for that because almost all of their courses are tax.
Great. So we have another question. Can I listen to Earmark podcast offline or do I need an internet connection?
You can listen currently you need, if you're listening with the Earmark app, you need to have an internet connection. But if you have a podcast player that you like to use, like Spotify, that app allows you to download episodes. So what I would recommend doing is subscribe to your favorite show on Spotify, download those episodes and listen to them when you're in the car. You can open the Earmark app and mark complete on the episode and then take the quiz.
Great. Let's see if we have any other questions. Looks like no other questions at this time. So thank you for joining us today.
We have one more question online.
Okay.
How do we tell the IRS CE from the CPE in the courses?
So the way to check is here's the easiest way to find them. In the search, there's this little magnifying glass icon at the top of the screen. You can use this filter icon, kind of looks like an abacus, and you can search for licensing body and filter for IRS CE and apply that filter. Now, you're only going to see the courses that qualify, and they have this purple IRS CE badge as well. These will all qualify for IRS CE.
Great. Do we have any other questions?
If not, I'll just highlight this recent episode that I did that I had a lot of fun with. It was an interview with Zach Zambili, who's in Las Vegas, who specializes in gambling taxation. So this episode of my Earmark podcast qualifies for tax continuing education. And I learned a lot about taxation of gambling winnings. And I know it's becoming a lot more common now that sports gambling is legal almost everywhere. So it's something I would recommend every tax professional at least have a basic understanding of. So check that out.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If anybody has any questions for Blake, you can always shoot them over to us and we can get them to him. And I think we're going to take a little break for a second while I get my screen ready. I'd like to take a moment to share with you all the MSATP website.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blake. Bear with me. I'm trying to get it so I can see everybody and share at the same time. All right, so hopefully everybody can share my screen. I just want to take a moment to kind of show you all around the MSATP website and some of the areas that we feel are important for you to know about. The first one is the view your profile. So here in the member portal, you can look at things like your account. Just has your account information, your address. You can also update this information as needed. Add your licensing, which is very important for reporting CPE to make sure we have all of your licensing information on file. One of the other areas that we feel is really important is your member benefits, your perks. If you go here, you can see all the different organizations that we partner with that you can get some discounts. Some of them are free, like Earmark, Verifile. So make sure you're checking those out. If you have not renewed your dues for this year, you can do that here on the website as well. It always shows you where you're at in your dues cycle. One of the other things I wanted to show you guys is you can also check out the board of directors. We have Dunya, our president, Ellen Silverstein, our first vice president, Hannah Coyle, our second vice president, Jonathan Rivlin, secretary, Ann Elliott, treasurer, Sean Coggins, delegate, Matt Edelman, delegate, Michael McElhargy, delegate, Michael Kohler, delegate, Nicole Moore, delegate, Chris Giavetti, board of trustees, and immediate past president, Barbara Smith. And our executive director, Gigi Hawkins. You can also check out the staff page, where you'll be able to get access to each of the staff members, myself, Gigi, Katie, our administrative assistant, Tasha, our web specialist, and Karina, our new director of education and events. Does anybody have any questions about the website? You can also go to our education page where you can see our upcoming lineup of events. You can register for Talking with Tax Speaker, and then all of the upcoming seminars and webinars that we have. To make sure you can register for our Community Day Member Appreciation Picnic that's coming up in September. We also will have several happy hour events coming up in conjunction with some of the 1040s. You can attend those after the first day of the 1040. I know we have them set up in Gaithersburg currently. We're working on getting one set up in Greenbelt and in Annapolis and in Ocean City. You can sign up for MSATP's trivia night. That's a lot of fun. You can come on and join and answer some trivia questions with fellow members. All right, I think up next, we are going to go ahead and do another trivia question. Remember, with the trivia, we are giving away 1 or 2 hour free CPE for the first one who answers it correctly. Who is MSATP's current executive director? Anyone want to take a guess? Thank you, Melanie. You are the winner. Gigi is our current executive director. If you can just reach out to the office, Katie will help you get signed up for that, or you can email info@msatp.org and we'll get you signed up for one of our free 1 or 2 hour webinars. All right, we are just waiting for our next presenter to join. right, everybody, our next presenter, Andy with Brightline, is having some technical difficulties right this moment. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and we're going to take our break. We're going to extend it for 30 minutes. So we will resume at 12:30. So go enjoy some lunch and we will see you all back then. and welcome back, everyone. So unfortunately, David with Verifile is not going to be able to join us today. They have no internet at their offices. So we are going to jump ahead to the John Kennedy video that we have about our new Learning Institute. So we're going to go ahead and play a short video from John Kennedy explaining the new Accounting Leadership Institute, and then take any questions anybody has. I'm sorry about that, everyone. It seems like we're now having technical difficulties, but it looks like David from Verifile is able to join us. David, are you with us?
Okay, can you hear me speaking?
I can.
Great. Okay, and now you should see me on video.
Yes, we can. Thank you so much for joining us. We, since I know you're having some internet issues on your end, we can go ahead and share your slides for you, and then just let us know when you want us to move them forward.
That sounds great. Thanks so much,
Okay,
Kelly.
give us a moment. We'll get them up and going.
Great.
David, bear with me. Tasha's trying to get the slides up, so I'm just going to resend them to her real quick. One moment.
No problem. You're bearing with me, so I'm happy to bear with you. And my apologies to anybody listening that we had some trouble here at our office with our internet this morning. That's why I'm delayed, and that's why we're sort of jerry-rigging my presentation together here.
Okay, just bear with me. I'm resending them to Tasha so she can get them up for you.
Great. Hey, that looks familiar.
Perfect. So whenever you're ready, if you want to get started, and then we can slide through for you.
Okay, great. Once again, thanks everybody for your patience. Hope demo day is going well for you so far. Today, I'm just going to walk you through essentially the basics of Verifile. I'm going to talk a little bit about our partnership with MSATP, and then explain a little bit about what we do here and why we think it's a big benefit for you to be able to use Verifile Pro at no charge. So go ahead and forward the slide. So I want to start just by saying that I completely understand and sympathize with anyone who struggles with new technology, new software, new releases of software you're used to. This is an image of me trying to keep up with technology. It's a constant struggle for everybody. And even us out here on the West Coast in Silicon Valley, we have the same struggles. As you can tell, because our internet wasn't working this morning and we're struggling just to get this presentation up and running. So that's sort of my initial thing I want to say is that I completely sympathize with your situation. For many of you, Verifile is new, and so you might have this built-in resistance to trying something new, and I get it. Go to the next slide, please. But that's where Verifile, I think, is going to actually make your life easier, not harder. Go to the next slide. So what is Verifile? Verifile is an online system, essentially a website, where you can share messages and documents securely with anyone. It's for both sharing and storage. It offers you unlimited electronic signatures that are IRS compliant, and it's also a client portal where you can share documents back and forth with your clients. So it's a real simple system that serves a lot of your basic needs. Next slide, please. Okay, they always say open with a quote. So this is my quote. So easy, even adults can use it, said by an anonymous toddler. Our system is remarkably easy to use. We get a lot of feedback from our users that their clients who are that are not tech savvy can still easily navigate Verifile. So we're really proud of that. Next slide, please. And we're extremely secure. So we have a patented encryption key management technology that actually, next slide, please, uses 6 different keys to encrypt every single data element that is uploaded into Verifile. So every message thread, every document has 6 of its own keys. Most other systems, even the famous ones, use 1 key at most to encrypt their stuff. What that means is if someone were to hack past 1 key, they'd still have 5 more to get through before they're going to be able to crack into your account or our database. So it's a very secure system. Next slide, please. So I want to start just by taking you through the basics really quickly. That easy button should be a little farther to the right, so there may be some formatting issues as we go through this, but it's really simple to use Verifile. It's really just a few clicks to start sharing. Go ahead and hit the next slide. Okay, this is basically the Verifile home screen. So on the far left, you can see that the Contacts tab is selected. There's another tab called Workspaces that you can see there. We're going to talk about contacts first. So you'll note that the Larry Lender Bank contact is selected, which means I have a private message thread going with Larry in the middle of the screen. That's where I share documents and messages with Larry. Very simple. You simply type a message where it says type a message and click send to send Larry a message. But let's say you want to add a new contact. Next button, forward. You click the plus sign next to contacts in the top left. Next slide, yep. And this will open an add contact screen where you simply type the name, first name, last name, and email address of your contact. Go ahead and hit the forward button. And then you just click add. So now you can see Christine Carson is at the top left, and the message thread in the middle of the screen is empty because we haven't shared anything with Christine. Excuse me. So we'll go ahead and type something in there for Christine. Hit the forward button. Hi there, Christine. Please review the attached document. And then we can use the little paperclip icon there to attach a document. Whoops. There we go. So I hit the forward button. That little paperclip icon will allow you to attach a document, and then you click send, and it's that simple. Go ahead and hit it forward again. So now the message and the document that I just shared is right there for Christine. So I want to show you just how it looks for Christine, my client. Go ahead and hit the forward button. This is Christine's version of Verifile. So she's logged in. You can see she's got my name selected in the top left. It's actually my colleague Dana's name, but we're using his account, so that's okay. He gave me permission. But you can see Christine sees basically the same thing. She's looking at the same private message thread that she has with Dana, and you can see the message and the document that Dana shared with her. Go ahead and hit the forward button, please. One more time. Yep. And she can share messages back with me exactly the same way. Type a message, click send, hit the forward button. And there the message appears in the thread. So, and if you want to look and see what I see when she sends me a message, hit forward again. This is my account again. Now we're looking at Dana's account, and you can see there's the message that Christine shared with me. So that basically covers how simple it is to add a contact and just start sharing securely with them in these private message threads. And remember that every single message, document, Everything you add into Verifile is encrypted with these 6 keys. So it's an extremely secure system. So next slide, please. So you can also have more in-depth communications than just one-on-one private message threads where you share things back and forth. We call those workspaces. So you'll remember that there was a workspaces tab at the beginning. Right now, I'm going to show you what a workspace looks like. Go ahead and hit the forward button. So this is a workspace that I've created called Client Christine Carson. So that means it's a workspace dedicated to this one client. Along the left side, you can see that I have a few guests in this workspace. Number one, obviously, is Christine, but we've also got Christine's lawyer, Lisa Lawyer, and Christine's husband, Sammy Spouse. And then we've got several workspace threads. So workspace threads are threads that you create inside your workspaces, and they can be anything. So in this case, go ahead and hit the forward button. We have several. I have one called tax planning, click forward, that has only the documents related to tax plan. But I also have one, click forward, called My Reference Materials. So this is one that's only for me. So you can see, if you look closely, you see a little private green badge. It says private, no guests have access yet. This is a message thread that I've created just to put documents in there that I might need frequently in my dealings with Christine. It's not being shared with Christine. It's only being shared with me, okay? And you can tell that by the green badge. Okay, go ahead and hit forward. But I also have a message thread called estate planning. Forward again. So this message thread is all about estate planning. I keep taxes and estates separate because that's sort of how I work. But what if Lisa tells me, hey, or what if Christine tells me, hey, I changed lawyers. Lisa Lawyers is billing me too much. I need to get her out of here, and I need to add my new lawyer in there. That's a super easy thing to do with these workspace threads. You just click that tiny gear icon that you can see when you hover over estate planning, and that'll open this little window, and then you click Manage Permissions. And what that does is, go ahead and click forward. It opens a window where you get to choose exactly who sees that message thread. So what I'm going to do is, click forward, I'm going to remove Lisa Lawyer. So I uncheck her box, and I'm going to add a new lawyer, Lenny Lawyers. And now you can see at the top of the thread that Lenny is there instead of Lisa. And Lenny now has access to all of the messages, all of the documents, all of the things that we discussed related to estate planning. So imagine trying to do that in email, get someone caught up to speed on an entire, possibly months of documents and messages that have been shared. Lenny Lawyers can now sit down, go through this one thread, and be completely caught up in a matter of minutes. Okay, hit forward. So another thing that Verifile does that a lot of users tell us is very valuable is we tell you when someone is looking at the things that you've shared with them. So go ahead and hit forward. So for example, here's my client Christine Carson workspace thread, and I've got several documents on the right that I've shared with Christine in the estate planning workspace. So I might want to know, for example, click forward. When has she or has she at all looked at this life insurance policy document? So if I click that little gear icon and then click View Access History, I can see exactly when and if the people I've shared that document with have looked at it. So in this case, both Lisa and Sammy have not yet looked at the document, but I can see that Christine has viewed it twice. And if I click her name, go ahead and click forward one more time. I could see that she looked at it on August 20th, twice, once at 9:44 a.m. and once at 9:51. So that tells me she's seen it, she's interested in it. That's situational awareness for you to know that, hey, now might be a good time to call Christine. This is information that's fresh in her mind. It's something that she's thinking about right now. Click forward. Another thing that we do is we allow you to just very quickly look and see when any of the guests in a workspace thread have last looked at this workspace thread. So if you click forward, you could see if you click Lisa Lawyer's name, go ahead and click forward, you can just at a glance see whether or not she's looked at this thread. So this says not yet viewed. That matches the information we just saw at the document. Click forward again. And you can also click Christine Carson. So this one, we'd expect that she has viewed it. So you can see right there, Sunday, August 20th was the last time she was in this thread. So these are very quick and easy ways for you to tell, have these people seen the information that I'm sharing with them? We call that situational awareness in Verifile. So along with your Verifile Pro account, you get unlimited digital signatures. Bonus points for anyone who can guess that signature. I'll let you guess when we get to the question section here. Go ahead and hit forward. I'm not going to cover all of this in detail, but our signatures tool is extremely easy to use. Essentially, for every person you'd like to sign a document, you just share the document with them and then draw boxes where you want them to sign. So you can see in this case, I've drawn a box for the signature and a box for the date. And then if I had multiple signers, I would click next signer at the top right, and this document will be sent to Christine for her to sign. It's really easy. And at the end of this presentation, I'll direct you to a demo where you can see exactly how to do all of this, but it's far easier than many of the other signature tools out there. Click forward. And along with every single signature comes this audit report that reports a lot of the information that you need to share with the IRS, such as the IP address of the sender, of the signer. Also, did they or did they not pass the identity check that we offer? We offer SMS identity check as a knowledge-based authentication for each signer if you choose to use that, as well as the terms. Did they agree to do business electronically? So this audit report is automatically attached to every document that is signed in VeriFile for you. Click forward. And one other feature that I just want to mention among many is that we offer document editing inside of VeriFile. Go ahead and click forward. So this is just a simple PDF editor. We allow you to merge PDFs together in this area. We also allow you to add annotations to a PDF. You can also delete pages or reorder the pages of a PDF. So it makes kind of constructing your documents, one document out of many, much simpler for you. And some of you are probably even accustomed to paying for services like this in order to be able to edit your PDFs. So I just wanted to cover that that's included in your VeriFile Pro account. Next slide. So in summary, VeriFile is extremely easy to use. It has patented security. No one else has the same 6-key encryption technology that we have to secure your data. We offer unlimited electronic signatures that are IRS compliant, that come for free along with your VeriFile Pro account. And it has tons of value for your clients so that they can go back and look at what you shared at any time in their own VeriFile accounts. Click forward. So how do you get it? Well, as an MSATP member, all of you have access to a free VeriFile Pro account. All you have to do to get your free VeriFile Pro account is sign up with the email address that MSATP has on file for you at verifile.com/MSATP. Very easy to remember, verifile.com/MSATP. Just sign up with your email address and you'll automatically be upgraded to Pro. Next slide. This is what you'll see when you go to that website. This is a custom landing page. This is where you enter your MSATP email address, click next, and just follow the simple steps for signing up. And then I just want to mention that there's a full-length demo, video demo, that shows everything I just explained to you and a lot more in detail. And you can find it on YouTube just by searching for VeriFile MSATP demo. Next slide. And that's pretty much it. I know I kind of covered a lot in a short period of time, and I started a little bit late, so I apologize for that. But hopefully you kind of get a feel for just how easy it is to use. Any questions if we still have time?
Thank you, David. We do have a couple of questions. I'll start with Emily's question. She says she has been using VeriFile since March. How do you modify the name of the contact?
Okay, so once a contact has confirmed their own VeriFile account, and by that we mean they've just been into VeriFile once to see something you've shared, then that means that they now own that name. You can't change the name on a confirmed user's account, just like we wouldn't let another user change the name on your account. So they have to change it themselves. And it's a very simple thing to do. All they have to do is once they're logged into VeriFile, click their name in the upper right corner of the screen, and then click Account Settings, very simple. And then they just click their name, edit it, and click Save. And they can change the name to anything they want. And if you want detailed instructions, you can just send an email to support@verifile.com, and we can send you the instructions that you could send to your client for changing their name.
Awesome. And then another question is it possible to have multiple users on a single verifiable account?
We're not set up that way. So individual users get their own verifiable accounts. You can certainly invite someone into your workspaces and give them permission to view all of your workspace threads. So in that sense, you could both be working on the same client or project, but we don't have the ability to have two different people logging into the same verifiable account.
Awesome. And then the last question we have is, how do you delete a workspace?
Oh, good question. Deleting a workspace is actually a two-step process. You first have to archive it, and then once it's archived, you can delete it. So to archive a workspace, you just click that little gear icon that appears when you hover your mouse over the workspace name, then click Archive Workspace, and that will move it to the archive area. So you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom of your list of workspaces, and you'll see there's a word archive. Click that word, and it'll show you all the archived workspaces. Find the workspace you want to delete on that list of archived workspaces, and then hover your mouse over that one, click the gear icon, and you'll see the option to delete that workspace entirely.
Awesome. That is it for questions. Thank you so much for that wonderful demonstration.
You got it. Sorry again for the technical troubles.
No worries. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, take care. Thanks, everybody.
All right, and next up we have Stephen with Bellator CyberGuard. He will be discussing how Bellator can assist you in your business as far as cybersecurity. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Let me just share my screen. All right, should see the first slide. Nice. Yes, hello, everyone. Thank you for attending. My name is Stephen Reyes. I'm the head technician at Bellator CyberGuard. We provide a WISP service, which we'll be talking about today, as well as full cybersecurity compliance for tax repairs as far as the IRS is concerned. But today we'll be talking primarily about a WISP. We do provide a WISP for sale that you can purchase. We'll talk about kind of what goes into a WISP, the requirement behind it, and how you can get one from us, and kind of just what goes into building one yourself, and why a lot of the time it's easier to get one done for you because there's a lot to it. But let's get started. So first, here is the actual requirement. So you know I'm not actually just talking about this, but I'll establish where this requirement comes from. So if you have a PTIN, anyone with a PTIN has filled out a W-12 to get your PTIN, either renew it or get it for the first time. And in this 11th row here, you can see it says, I am aware that paid tax return preparers must have a data security plan to provide data and system security protections for all taxpayer information. So if you have a PTIN, you've checked this box and confirmed that you have this in place. I'm sure anyone with a PTIN already has this. The law behind it here comes from the GLBA, the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, Part 314.3. I do have a sources slide at the bottom, so you see this little IRS 1 in the corner. There is a couple sources in there. I think just this one and our website. But that's where this comes from. This is a screenshot of just this portion. So this is just the portion around what the actual requirement for the WISP. And the next section, part 314.4, are what should be in your WISP, right? So I'll just read it quick. You shall develop, implement, and maintain a comprehensive information security program that is written in one or more readily accessible parts and contains administrative, technical, and physical safeguards that are appropriate to your size and complexity, the nature and scope of your activities, and the sensitivity of any customer information at issue. And then it states the objectives. Why do we have this WISP, right? Why do we need to outline our administrative, technical, and physical safeguards? It's really essentially for the safety of the client, right? The taxpayers' information, all their tax data. right? So to ensure the security and confidentiality of customer information, protect against any anticipated threats or hazards to the security or integrity of such information, and protect against unauthorized access to or use of such information that could result in substantial harm or inconvenience to any customer, right? So it's very real that a lot of damage can be done to somebody with their tax data, right? Between identity theft and fraud, tax fraud, fraudulent tax returns. There's a lot you can do that people are aware of, and why this is very valuable to nefarious actors, right? So the next section is around what goes into a WISP, right? So starting with these three portions of the WISP being outlining at the administrative, technical, and physical safeguards should all be documented in here. Then all of this is really what should be within your WISP, right? So obviously the first slide, the previous slide was a screenshot of the law. This is a much larger portion. There's a lot more that should be outlined in here. This isn't everything. I kind of summarized for our sake of time today some of the key elements of the WISP. But again, you can go to that source that I have listed at the end if you want to read everything that's in there. So first, defining qualified personnel. So it really comes down to two positions. There's a lot of acronyms here, so bear with me, but you have a data security coordinator, a DSC, and a PIO, a public information officer. So the person that kind of reports any incidents, and the data security coordinator is responsible for making sure that the WISP is being carried out, that everything that's outlined here is actually true and being seen through in the system itself, in the organization itself. So if you have an MSSP, there is a requirement to have an MSSP for a lot of these things. They will be responsible for whatever it is they're responsible for. If they have their remote management monitoring software that they use, and they're responsible for your antivirus and your patch management, your backup, and taking care of all of that, that's great. They won't be the DSC for everything, right? Again, looking back to these three types of safeguards, the administrative, technical, and physical. Physical, for example, they're not going to be able to do for you, right? They're not going to be able to make sure that you're locking your doors at night, that file cabinets containing PII are locked at all times. They won't have kind of any power over that because they're a remote entity, but then they will have the portions that they are responsible for, and it's kind of up to you to make sure they're meeting their requirements as well. Next, a risk assessment. So there will be a risk assessment as a big portion of this, and all of your safeguards will then be based off the assessed risks. So this is where it becomes different for every organization. Every organization has different associated risks. They'll be outlined. Really, the criteria for them are the assessment of includes confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your information systems and customer information. So thinking about that, we get into our safeguards portion. So all of your safeguards here will be in order to meet any of the associated risks. So for example, let's say one of the risks is having your drive stolen or lost that contains all of your taxpayers' PII. So then the safeguard mitigation technique associated with that may be using BitLocker or FileVault. BitLocker and FileVault come with Windows and Mac operating systems. They're encryption tools that you can use to encrypt drives on your computer. Very easy to set up. You practically turn it on and pick the drive that you want to use. And that will protect against, say, the integrity and confidentiality. However, if that third piece, the availability, if your drive is lost or stolen and all of your data is on there, then you're not, just because it's encrypted, since it's been lost or stolen, you're not protecting against that with just encryption, right? So then you would need another mitigation technique to fulfill that last portion, the availability portion, which would be a backup of some sort, having a second drive or a cloud backup of all the same data, right? Making sure that we're protecting on these three aspects of the system information and customer information. A few other examples that you see all the time: implementing 2FA. 2FA is an IRS requirement, at least on all tax software. So anytime you're logging into your tax software, you should have it enabled. If not, a lot of the time it's enforced on the tax software itself. It's a requirement that you have 2FA enabled. If not, it should be enabled, that you log in not only with your username and password, but then there's some sort of second factor. Maybe you get a code texted to your phone, or there's a facial recognition system. There could be so many different things. There could be a drawing feature that you do. Maybe you have like a drawing of a star. There could be a geolocation that you only have certain locations that can log in, having some sort of second factor of authentication. And again, these will all be listed throughout the WISP, right? What all these different safeguards are. You'll have all your physical safeguards as well. And these look different for different size organizations, right? So a large organization maybe has a large office building and they have to badge in to their, so there is a requirement, we won't get too much into that, but of like 3 barriers between you and the PII. So let's say they badge into the office at a large company, or they badge into the building, then they go through a locked door that has cameras, and then there's a locked filing cabinet right within that office. So those are your 3 barriers. Now, if you're a small organization, still principle applies, but it'll look a little different, right? Maybe you have your locked front door, then you have your office within your home, and then you have a locked filing cabinet in your office. Still 3 barriers, but looks kind of entirely differently. And again, that's just outlined here as it pertains to your organization. Next, monitoring and testing. So there is a requirement for having either continuous monitoring or annual penetration testing or vulnerability assessments. So either or is okay. Continuous monitoring pertains to having either an RMM solution, which is remote monitoring management, and or some sort of EDR, MDR solution, which is antivirus kind of security solution that uses behavioral AI rather than legacy antivirus. There's a big difference there. The EDR and MDR is much more heavily favored and does a lot more. It configures your firewall, has a browser extension, and it doesn't rely on the library in the sense that legacy antiviruses do. So you have to be careful. If you're using something like Norton or McAfee, you're probably, well, definitely not meeting this continuous monitoring requirement. Whereas if you're using something like SentinelOne or Huntress, those do meet that requirement because they're EDR and MDR solutions. I could talk about EDR and MDR solutions all day, but that would take, we don't have that kind of time. But again, the requirement being having something that's considered continuous monitoring or conducting annual penetration tests. In most cases, the continuous monitoring makes a lot more sense. Annual penetration testing can cost, on average, $10,000 to $30,000. Again, it varies definitely based on the size of the organization, but chances are you're not going to pay anything like that for continuous monitoring every year. As well as having the penetration testing doesn't necessarily grant you the needed security anyway. It kind of just will let you know. And if the results of that are, oh, you're very vulnerable, then you've met the requirement, yes, but are you really like ensuring the safety of your client's information? Maybe not. Next, having a training program. So in this portion of the WISP, it's not necessarily what they'll be trained on, but kind of the administrative idea of it. So when are employees trained? How do you kind of confirm that they've learned everything they need to learn before they get access to PII? What does that kind of look like? What does that training program look like? Next, having a written incident response plan. So the response plan is an important piece of this. that you have a plan in place for any sort of incident, right? So you outline the different possible incidents or kind of category of incidents, and then there's a clear outline in the incident response plan of the goals of the response plan, the processes for responding to an incident, clear defined roles and responsibilities. So essentially, there's this incident that occurs, this person does this, or this role does this, and there's clear, cause and effect, right? There shouldn't be any, this way it kind of cuts out all time for thinking in the event of an incident. Something happens, you pull out the response plan. It's like, okay, this is what happened. This is what this person does, and it's just clear action. Because time's very valuable depending on the incident for sure, but in most cases. And lastly, this is intended to be updated and needs to be updated at least annually. So really, even sooner than that too, if there are new risks that the organization faces, we should be updating that. Any results of testing, if you have penetration testing that you're doing, or just regular vulnerability assessments that you're seeing, and you have any results, that you update the security program according to those results. Any recommendations for changes, really just keeping the WISP live and updated as things in the organization change. Okay, next, what can we help with that? So Bellator will, if you purchase a WISP with us, you can go to our website, enter your information. We'll have an assessment with you. An AICPA certified expert like myself or one of my colleagues will reach out to you. We'll have an appointment. We'll log in remotely to your computer, take a look at everything, document everything, ask you several questions about your organization, and deliver a custom tailored WISP specific to your business. We deliver a physical copy as well as a PDF copy. And the nice thing that we do too is it's, you pay once, and again, this is supposed to be updated annually. So we do provide a lifetime WISP. So we will update it. We'll meet with you at least once a year to update it and make any changes. If there's new changes, and you just let us know, we'll make updates as they happen. And there's no annual cost to that, right? We commit to updating it annually for you and keeping it current. In addition to that, we also do provide IRS compliance as far as cybersecurity is concerned outright too. So you can onboard with us as well, where you'll get the WISP that has all of the safeguards in place that we provide. So we'll provide you with the EDR and MDR, the RMM solution, making sure you're meeting every one of these requirements. We'll configure your network, your firewall. The tough part with the WISP is that just having the WISP is one thing, right? But then meeting all of the requirements that are needed to be secure and call yourself secure and compliant is a whole nother thing. You could have a WISP that kind of outlines inadequate security, right? And, we don't expect people to understand that, right? Like you wouldn't expect me to, know how to do a 1040. I wouldn't expect accountants to know how to configure a firewall and configure their network to be secure, how to conduct port management, all of these different things, right? So we make all that very simple for you, really update everything you need to know. And we then from there meet with you at least quarterly to go over any questions or anything, any updates to your system, make sure everything's current. We do provide reporting every month, and we have a whole ticketing system too, and you're free to call at any time if you have questions or concerns. But yeah, our goal really is to just provide you with full IRS compliance and kind of take away this whole headache of cybersecurity as it pertains to being compliant and protecting your clients and their information, right? There's a lot of value in, being able to show your clients, hey, this is all the steps we're taking to protect your information, you know. But thank you guys for having me. Anytime or any questions, I think we still have some time, so please ask away. Oh, here are the sources too that I was talking about, our website and the GLBA source.
And we do have one question, Stephen. Can a small professional make a WISP themselves?
Yeah, so in theory, right, like you could. Is it going to be efficient? Probably not. The amount of time that it goes into, you know, reading all of these publications, there's so many publications around this, between not just the GLBA law, but you have 1075, 4557, both of those publications, going through the NIST catalog and understanding all of the different, so the NIST catalog has all of the different mitigation techniques for a given risk. Doing your risk assessment, configuring your network. Again, like I wouldn't know how to do a 1040, right? So could you take the time to learn and put all these things in place? In theory, yes, absolutely. Is it efficient? More than likely, no.
Sure. And then I think you just answered this one. Am I required to purchase a new WISP annually? But I think you said that the WISP covers a lifetime, correct?
Yeah, for us, we do provide the lifetime WISP. I know some other organizations that provide a WISP, they will charge you to update it annually. So that depends. But yeah, we do provide a lifetime WISP. We'll update it at least every year.
Great. I think that's it as far as questions. Thank you so much for hopping on and, you know, running through all of what Bellator does and how you can assist MSATP members. So thank you so much, Stephen.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Have a great day, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
And then we have the grand finale. We have a pre-recorded video from John Kennedy, who is the facilitator of our new and improved Accounting Leadership Institute, which is a comprehensive series of 6 90-minute online workshops designed to build the capacity of existing and emerging leaders within our membership. A few reasons to participate in this program is to enhance your leadership skills, expand your network, drive positive change in the industry. The deadline to apply is September 1st, which is in just a couple of days. So if you're interested, please reach out to the office and we can get you that link so that you can apply to join the leadership program. And the first workshop will take place on September 21st. So we will show the pre-recorded video really quickly and then come back for questions after. Oh, give us just a second as we get that video up.
Well, good afternoon. My name is John Kennedy, and I am excited to introduce you to the Accounting Leadership Institute. I've been invited to be able to be a small part of the big success of your leadership development in the tax preparers industry at MSATP. So without further ado, I thought it would be important to walk you through what we have, 6 modules over the course from September 2023 through February of 2024, where we'll have what we refer to loosely as a lunch and learn. A lunch and learn from 11:30 to 1 o'clock on 6 different dates between September and February to learn about leadership development, the leader within you, how to build better teams, how to communicate, how to motivate, how to inspire, how to utilize core values in decision-making. How do you deal with conflict in the workplace? How is it that you could take yourself from good to great and be of value and service, not only to the firm that you're currently working with, but the future firms that you may include yourself in your career advancement? and who knows, possibly even your own firm at some point in the future as well. And without further ado, I'd like you to bring you to those sessions. Starting out on September 21st, we have value-based leadership in Module 1. Value-based leadership is the fundamental understanding of where values come into play when it comes to leadership development and decision-making. Values-based decision-making means that the core values of the business help and guide us in the direction of success. At the top, you'll see that a vision directs us and a mission drives us, but values guide us. And in relationship to that, we do a wonderful exercise that allows you to learn a little bit more about your core value system. And then we also show you how that you can utilize that same system to create a core value structure for your business or your firm as well. Values, again, of integrity or respect or service engagement, we don't know what those are. They're unique and different to the person and to the firm. So we'll be walking you through the importance of foundation building in relationship to values. The outcome, as you see at the bottom, is steps to create and then deliver your company's core values on a daily basis to make better decisions for your internal as well as external customers. Customers want to know where your values are. Your value speaks volumes about you and your employees. Your internal customers want to know, what are the core values that the business has? And do you understand that my core values as an individual should be in alignment to the core values of your business? So that's the first part. As we move into Module 2 is October 26th, 2023, and that would be the 2 faces of leadership. We talk about this in a way that you may be familiar with. Developing the leader within you oftentimes has 2 components to it. One is working in the business, and the other is working on the business. And oftentimes in business, we are in the busyness and maybe not so much in the business. So working in versus on your business is one way to put it. Another way is that you are tactical versus strategic. That's another way. And we'll talk about the tactical decision-making of the day-to-day activities of your firm and how those, although are important, the things that may be of more weight, more substance, and more value may actually be the strategic. How is it that I could plan for the future while dealing with the present? That delicate balance in the middle of tax season is very difficult for sure. So we'll show you how that balance works. And the outcome then would be that the intuition to know how effective decision-making can be the difference between good and great leadership, not always dealing with what's on fire and what's urgent and what's now, but taking into consideration the importance of importance. How is this important enough to make a decision that might not be that urgent? So we look at those definitions of urgency and importance and help you then make better decisions in relationship to your work each and every day. We move into November. The latter part of November brings us to developing your leadership presence. And your leadership presence in this Lunch and Learn program talks about the key word of leadership. I refer to it as influence. Influence, meaning, do I have the ability to influence others? In sales, that's it as well. Can I influence people to make a decision of yes based on the products that we offer? And in leadership, can I make an influence of the people that we work with to be able to move in the direction of our core values, our vision, and our mission? So learning more about your presence, your body language, your command of voice, the tonality in which you present. Are you to some degree approachable, or are you maybe standoffish? How do we open ourselves up by body, by mind, by voice, and by words to make sure that we have a leadership style that is one of not only presence, but of influence? And as we see towards the bottom, an outcome, find your authentic leadership self through a balance of humility, listening, and then being in the now, the presence of now. We'll talk all about those items. And that would be helpful not only in your business life, but certainly in your personal life as well. Because I find that leadership development not only makes us better leaders, but oftentimes better husbands, better wives, better sons, better daughters, better people in the world in which we live. And we could all absolutely learn better about how to be more effective in our leadership when it comes to our communities that we serve. Stage 4, Module 4, coming up in December towards the Christmas season. Lunch and Learn again. Maybe at that point we'll have Christmas cookies if you want. And what we're going to be talking about there is creating and developing a high-performance team. There are 4 elements to building a world-class team. We'll go through all 4. We'll let you know in quick, easy succession what those stages are. And then you'll learn, I now understand why we sometimes don't have the best team. Oftentimes it's because we don't know how to manage conflict in the workplace. We don't have a good understanding of dealing with understanding conflict. There are 4 levels. We talk about that in module 5, actually. But in this module, we set the stage for the 4 stages of team building. Norming, do we have an ability to know what's expected? Performing, do we now absolutely do what we're going to do because we have an execution of our plan and not just a plan? Short and easy is that successful teams know what they need to do and do it. Unsuccessful teams know what they need to do and don't. And we'll learn about what's called the integrity gap. Pardon me, the area in between that you fill as a leader to be able to take them from norming, know what they need to do, and performing by actually doing it. It's a great session. You'll enjoy this one greatly, as I believe you will all the others as well. The outcome of that certainly is the ability to create a solid and unified force of people and energy focused on accomplishing the same mission. That's called a line of one culture. And when your team has what we refer to as a line of one culture, it's almost like geese. They're all flying information. They all know where they're headed. They all support each other. They change roles and responsibilities. Geese don't argue with each other. They help each other out. They naturally know effective teamwork, and they have a brain the size of a pea. We have a fairly large brain, and the element of teamwork is problematic to most humans. We start out the new year in talking about resolving conflict. I mentioned that just a moment ago, that part of team building is called storming. Storming means that we may not get along with each other based on personality styles or the mindset in which we work, but that's okay if we have a common purpose, a common direction, and a common goal. And that's why values matter so much. So building the foundation of values, learning about decision-making, implementing leadership presence, building a world-class team, knowing that there will be at some point a level of conflict in the workplace is okay. We'll learn in the 5 dysfunctions of a team in this session that one of the elements of dysfunction is an avoidance of conflict. We don't talk about stuff. I don't deal with things. We just accept that that's the way that it needs to be. And if that's what you accept, that's what you then expect. How do we set it up so that we have the ability to communicate with each other in a team environment to resolve conflicts as they happen? You as a leader becomes a moderator. You as a leader becomes a mediator. You as a leader becomes somebody that can help guide your team through those candid, tough discussions that need to take place in order for us to strengthen our communication, strengthen our team, and strengthen our vision within the organization. Another good session. And the reason why is that you could use those language skills that you'll learn and the understanding of conflict levels in the workplace in your home environment as well. Those lessons in leadership transcend not only your work life, but your personal life as well. And then lastly, and importantly, is the elements of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also an element of bias. We grow up thinking certain things. We're not sure why sometimes we think the way that we think. It can be internal, it could be external, it could be environmental, it could be what our belief system were based upon experiences that we've had. So we invite you to be able to close out this module 6 on February 22nd, with learning about the biases that we have that sometimes in a way cloud our manner in which we think about folks, and take the clouds away and open a sense of inclusion, diversity in thought, diversity in background, diversity in religion and creed and beliefs and values all matter. What you wouldn't want is a team that all thinks the same way. We will want to be able to have a team that brings diversity of thought and diversity of backgrounds and experiences to bear in order to problem solve, create new decisions, innovate, change, transform, and build a world-class team through your leadership. Outcomes on module 5, the language of mediation and meaningful understanding that creates the right environment to accelerate your team to higher levels of engagement. And then lastly, module 6 has an outcome of a workforce that is truly representative of the customers and the communities they serve, where fairness, diversity of thought, and improvement can lead an organization to greatness through your now found extraordinary leadership. So 6 modules between September through February. We'd love you to be part of this virtual learning process called Lunch and Learn. And if you have an interest in this, I'm sure the folks that are following me from MSATP can tell you how to sign up and register. Certainly go to the website and look at the different seminars that are being offered and work with your administrator to be able to have that take place. We'd love to see you there. We hope to see you there. We'll look forward to seeing the first cohort of the Leadership Institute coming up on September 21st at 11:30. Lunch and Learn. Until then, take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, that was a fantastic video from John Kennedy. Again, the deadline to apply is September 1st, and we can send you that link so that you can apply if you just give us a call at the office. The phone number is 800-922-9672. And now we will, what is the cost? If you are a member, there is no cost. If you join, there is no cost, so just join. Any other questions? All right, and now we will have our last trivia question. And again, the winner of the trivia question will receive one free 1 hour or 2 hour webinar of your choice. Name one benefit of joining MSATP's membership. So from the sessions today, if you name one benefit, verify. Emily, you have one. Please reach out to Katie, and she will get you all registered for that webinar. Awesome. Well, that is it for today. Thank you all so much for joining us for our very first member benefits demo day. I hope this information was valuable to you and will aid you in your business or in your decision to join MSATP. If you are interested in joining this wonderful community, please either call our member services team at 1-800-922-9672 or go to our website and join online. And we hope to see you soon, either on a webinar or in person. Thank you so much. Have a great day.